Crash Phones. Welcome to Unknown for the Most Likely. Today, our special guest we were supposed to have on Wednesday, and now we have today, is Yotzeret Sheydim. They make a blend of harsh noise and very awesome, pieces of the religion, and mashing it into one. They make harsh noise gear videos and stuff. Has a bunch of great projects right now. Has an amazing release out on Deathbed Tapes. Definitely go check that out after this episode. So let's see. We're just waiting on our guest. All right. But next week we'll be having Big Swish on the normal date on Wednesday at 12 p.m. just like every other Wednesday. Lately there has been some personal issues and stuff like at the place where I have been filming and stuff. But that's another discussion, to others. Other stuff. Just waiting on other people. Wants to watch. I guess I'll just send out. Right now we're just waiting on people, waiting on Allie. All right. All right, here they are. Our guest's finally here. All right, here we go. Hello there.
Hello.
How's it going? Thank you for that patience. I appreciate it so much. Just a lot of shit's been going on here,
Yeah, I get you. You're good.
Well, yeah, no, awesome. I appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you for actually accepting this. This is actually really exciting. I've been really really been digging about into around your music, and it's been really it's very different where I see a lot of different stuff in the same scene, and your stuff is really probably never done before. Not a lot of stuff is mashed with religion.
I mean, some is, but you know what they say about uniqueness, right?
Yeah.
Well, they say you know how to sneak up on a unique cat, right?
Yeah.
Unique up on. Sorry, that joke hits really good if you're 7 years old and you are just learning vocabulary.
Yeah.
But sorry, one of my favorite jokes. But yeah, there's no new thing under the sun, but there's always new people to see new things.
Yeah, absolutely. So so starting off with how did you start digging into harsh noise, where was your music taste then? It seems like you were actually into dark wave already and a lot of other gothic type stuff.
Yeah. I've always been into experimental music, and I've always been a heavy music listener. Collected a lot of CDs back in high school and college, and collected records briefly, had to sell them all. But I've always been into heavy and experimental music. Like I don't know. I started listening to like The Locust and Juju and a bunch of other weird ass like motherfuckers when I was like 15, back in like 2004. I'm kind of old, I guess. Um, but like I've always been into like heavy and experimental music, but I didn't really get into the harsh noise scene until about 3 years ago, when I met my friend Claire, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, she does experimental music," and I'm like, "Okay." So I started talking with her, and she's Burnt Feathers Nikudarama. I don't know if you're familiar, but she does. Oh, she's a big inspiration for me, and now she's one of my best friends. But it kind of literally started from like me meeting someone who was in the noise scene and kind of inviting me in and kind of being and welcoming me in, and also like I mean I always knew about like harsh noise and experimental music, but I never really delved super far other than like surface stuff, like like Merzbow and Wolf Eyes and like a few bigger names over the years. Like I knew who serious experimentalists were for a long time, but not until like 3 years ago did I really delve into like harsh noise and harsh noise wall. Like right before the pandemic. Right before the pandemic was probably my first like real noise show. Like literally 2 weeks before the shutdown was Black Leather Jesus, Vomir, The Rita, Niku Dharma, and JSH.
That's a dream lineup.
And this was like when Vomir could still do the bags.
Yeah.
He doesn't do the bags anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't do the bags. I've seen that. It's hilarious.
Yeah, because of legal reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good show, and that was like kind of my first introduction to it. I had just met Claire, and she invited me out to her show, and she was opening for BLJ and all these others.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. Well, I mean, probably after the show, and just we could link it, and then I'll link it to show it. If anybody wants to check them out.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of static on your end.
Oh shit! Oh my god, it's really bad.
No, it's not that bad. Yeah. It was okay for a while.
Okay, just I'm gonna try again to see if it works.
Yeah, it sounds good now.
Okay, I'll just fucking take the headphones off.
All right, no problem.
So yeah.
What other questions?
So yeah, Locust.
Did you have? What other questions did you have? I'm hyped.
Yeah. So you said you're a Locust fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. No, I'm also a Locust fan too. So you live on the other side. Have you ever you been to shows growing up? And what type of scene did you see growing up? And seeing a lot of noise in that kind of.
Yeah. Well, growing up, I lived in D.C., Washington D.C., and my parents kind of like once I turned like 15 or 16, my parents kind of trusted me to like go out into the city on my own because they knew I could navigate like the public transport and the trains and all that. Mm-hmm. And I started going. I was working at a comic book shop, had disposable income, so I went to a lot of fucking shows at like the Black Cat and the 930 Club, and saw a lot of bands. Like I saw The Locust when I was 16 in DC, and that I saw them playing with a Roland Juno 60, the keyboard, and I was like, yo, I want to sound like that. So I ended up buying one that year for $300, and I still have it, and I still play it all the time, but it's now like a $4,000 keyboard because of inflation and like the synth market. But like it's like crucial to my sound. But Locusts were like literal inspiration for that instrument. But yeah, the scene that I was kind of in growing up in DC, there was like some like DC punk stuff. Like I saw Ian MacKaye a few times with the Evens, like Ian MacKaye of Fugazi and Minor Threat. So there was like some some DC scene that I was like tangential, but I was like 16, you know, so I was like mostly playing Dungeons and Dragons and like Half-Life
Hey, that's pretty dope.
with my friends. But it was still like there was like a little bit of a local like high school emo scene. Like emo and ska was like mostly what was played at my high school at the time. But like all the high school bands were like emo and ska pretty much. It was fun.
Was it like Battle of the Bands or stuff?
Yeah, we had like a pretty big. It was like a high school of like 5,000. It was like a pretty big public school in DC that I went to,
Okay.
and there was like a lot of the band kids that played brass formed ska bands, and like everyone and like emo and scene music was like big at the time, and I was like wearing girls' pants back in the day.
Yeah.
But it was a fun scene. It like I guess I did have like some of a scene growing up in a city, but I wasn't like super clued in the DIY stuff because I was mostly just like being a nerd.
Yeah. I think that's how it starts for all of us. And then we always like think, oh, this person thinks like we're like a poser or something just because we're like new here.
Yeah, and that's like it's like I don't know. Thinking someone's a poser because they're new just means that you like hate change and you hate making friends. That's all. Like if you're like, oh, you're new here, you don't get to XYZ in any scene. You're just saying that I don't like making friends and I don't like learning things and I don't like changing.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of that in the hardcore scene. There's a lot of people, you know, like the thing is like I've seen so many mashed lineups and stuff, and there's like really a lot of uncalled lineups, you know, like especially with harsh noise, maybe, and sometimes grindcore.
Yeah.
I don't know how many I don't know how many feuds I've heard in the grind scene really. I mean, there's maybe a couple really problematic bands out there. But what kind of stuff did you remember if you ever been to any of these shows, any problematic bands that actually were never like welcome back?
Well, sorry, what was the question?
For like any of the shows you've been to, or what kind of any of the bands that ever played were any of them problematic and never welcome back to?
Not that I'm not aware of any like weird. The weird artists that I've seen live, like I don't think so. I'm not sure. Now that you mention it, I don't know. I've seen some pretty like bands that I didn't necessarily enjoy that were live. Like I saw Dashboard Confessional back in like 2003 when I was like 13, and I was like, that was kind of lame.
Yeah, it is.
But like, I don't think I've seen anything that I'm like, oh, I kind of like regret that. But no, I don't know. When you get more into like experimental and edgy. Oh no, wait, no, I did see I Hate God. They're kind of schmucks. I also saw Swans live. They're also kind of schmucks. To answer your question, yeah. I guess I've seen those two bands.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, even if like, you know, someone likes like the artist so like so much, it's just like, you know, I do like to separate the art from the artist, but there's a lot of people I don't.
The thing with separating art from artist is it is up to each individual to do so, to whatever degree they see fit. And if other people don't vibe with it, then they don't vibe with it. And that's really it, because like you can't fully ever separate art from artist, period, but you can in your mind keep the art and the artist separate. Like, I don't know, I've got a Lovecraft tattoo, like, but he's a corpse, and I don't promote his shit, and he was a racist, and that's why I have the August Derleth interpretation of the Elder Sign and not the original Lovecraftian Elder Sign. Like, it's there. You can always separate art from artist to a certain extent, but it's up to each individual, not even the artist or the it's like up to each individual art consumer to separate art from artist and to figure out how much they care the person is intertwined, and like it's really how much of a dick is the person. Like, did they do one shitty thing and then they stopped, or are they continually actively being a bad person? You know,
Yeah.
are they actively living with hate, or are they like, did they do a thing and then they stopped or whatever? Like
Yeah.
to be the two extremes of like, but because there's anything in between that you like would want to separate the art from the artist because the artist is a schmuck,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know?
Yeah.
And like, because like, sure, if someone played me an obscure Burzum track and was like, "Yeah, what do you think of this dungeon synth?" I might be like, "Yeah, it's okay," but like, and I might not know that it's Burzum right away, but like, but if then someone said, "Oh, this is Burzum," I'd be like, "Go fuck yourself! Why did you do that to me?" This is like it's like because Varg is an active piece of shit. It's not like he did one thing once bad and then stopped. He kind of continued to be a huge piece of shit and is still a piece of shit and is somehow still allowed to be on the internet. For
It's
example,
a
you know.
big face palm. It is a big face palm. I think, the black metal community is like either stupid or fucking not,
Yeah,
really. I think they could be like smart enough too. Like,
yeah. Like it's separating art from artists is really difficult, and it's a really tough thing to do when shitty people make good art. Like I've had a lot of tough conversations with a lot of friends about Kanye over the past few years
yeah,
about how like inspirational his music has been and how like formative it's been for so many people, and also how he's an evil psychotic billionaire, you know.
yeah, it is fucking
like
truth.
like you can like wish someone's downfall while still saying that their work inspired you. It's weird, but you can do that.
Yeah,
You can be like, yo, I hope you like get ridiculed until you lose all your money and then like die in obscurity, but your early album's pretty inspiring. You can still have both of those beliefs and it's okay. It's
yeah,
just weird some of the time to have to
yeah.
do that for for some artists. And
Yeah.
hopefully, the people that think I'm a schmuck are probably just transphobes, to be honest. Because I'm a perfect angel who does no wrong. No, honestly, I'm a slut, and like some people get upset about that.
Some people have to slut
That's
shame. It's not the greatest thing to fucking even like feel,
yeah,
but they like have to fucking move on and shit.
that's like the
But
worst. The worst anyone has said about me is that like, oh, she slept with like this person and that person, and I'm like,
yeah,
all right, good on you for keeping track of my life. I hardly do that. I don't know. Shit's weird. Shit's weird. What else you got for me?
well, I was gonna basically get into talking about your latest release on Deathbed Tapes, and it's a really like wild experience so far. I've listened to quite a couple of your releases and stuff,
Thank
and
you.
some of the story, it's really good storytelling type of
Thank you.
stuff, right? Really cool. Um, you were was talking about you like the Lovecraft, but not what him.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff are you reading, in between, and what were like the biggest inspirations for your project?
So the biggest inspirations for Yotzeret Sheydim, yeah, I'd say so. Yotzeret Sheydim is a very personal project. It's very much an amalgam of myself and my personal beliefs. In that, Yotzeret Sheydim is it's the literal translation is she makes demons, or creating demons conjugated in the feminine, or creates demons. And these aren't just generic demons, these are Sheydim, these are shade. Shade is the singular, Sheydim is the plural, and Yotzeret, Yetzira, it's the same root word to create. And these, so to me, creating is a holy act, and because the you know, divine creator created the universe in whatever way or shape you believe that. Someone created something. It didn't just always be. Someone had to start it in the beginning. Something started it in the beginning. So you got a holy creator. And to create is then a divine act. And so creating, like taking raw materials, forming them, shaping them, recording waves of light and sound, and altering the like perception of the world and altering the like figure of the world around you is a divine, like you're honoring the divine by creating, because you create and you shape the world just as the divine creator created and shaped the world. And Sefer Yetzirah, this album that I did recently, is kind of really about that, because the original book, Sefer Yetzirah, the book of Kabbalah, is really about, it's a manual about how God made the universe. And so I kind of wanted to make an album about how I make my creations, how I make Sheydim, how I harness the energy of creation and anti-creation into physical media and audio that are like usually combined as one. I was kind of rambly, but I think that made sense.
Yeah, that's definitely made sense.
I have many more answers and many more ways of phrasing it. But if you've read the liner note text for Sefer Yetzirah, the one that was on the inner J card or on the back of the T-shirt, you kind of get, that's like kind of like my little thesis, my little manual for making demons, or a little bit deep. That's kind of like, Sefer Yetzirah is very like much like a thesis type album for this project. So much so, in addition, was Avraham, my previous album. So I'm rolling a joint.
Absolutely. No, it's okay. We're stoner friendly.
Yeah. Instagram, please. This is. I
haven't even got a fucking bad yet.
Instagram police. This is a medicinal state I am in. I'm about to enter a medicated state.
That's good. It's good. Marijuana is the best.
Yeah, about, like, so the thing with demons is they're kind of just like, a demon to me is, a Sheydim is this like kind of capturing of sound and object at the same time. It is often how I create like a music object. A full music object is a Sheydim. Otherwise, I'm just dancing with them and playing with them. And I've only made the lesser demons, the minor demons, the greater demons, and then Ashmodai and Mahalat. And I haven't made any other demons so far, just like canonically, I've just made music with them.
Yeah.
Just because I believe that they are usually unbound unless specifically like recorded and bound at the same time into an object. But otherwise, Sheydim are just like the mirror ethereal versions of objects and of waves and of sound and of light. They're just like, yeah, like ethereal mirror versions in the upside down, if you want to use some other terms.
Yeah.
From pop media. But, yeah, what was the question?
Oh, no. It was, we were just, we were just talking about some descriptions of your album. And music and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I wanted to also ask something like, how with the gear stuff you do for videos, and
I need to restart start that. I've been slacking. I've been slacking. I haven't done any gear review videos in a bit. I'm gonna get back into them. It's just every time I go into the studio, I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Oh, I want to make some like synthesizer music, and then I do that. It's been rare that I go into the studio and I'm like, you know what I want to do? Clear off the desk and like clear off the table and then review one piece of gear.
Yeah.
What was your question about them?
Where did like I've seen some really great creations what you've made and stuff, and it's like, like, do these sometimes take time to like make?
Oh yeah.
And like how much time did you like, learn about gear and putting stuff together? Was it just easy?
So I collab, like, so I work with other people pretty often in order to make instruments. I've made a few on my own that are just simple piezo shaker boxes that just look like a contact mic inside. But I've also made stuff with Echo Lightwave Unspeakable, and I've also made stuff with who is like a synth maker who
Shout out.
Yeah, they make great stuff. We had a conflict of interest and stopped talking recently, and I hope they're okay. I just had to like block them for mostly their mental health and my safety. It was just kind of weird, but they make great stuff, and I don't have beef with them. They just got really weird towards me, and I had to block them. But they make really good stuff, and I really enjoyed my time working with them, but I'm seeking other people to work with. I'm going to be working with Moth Hunter Mods soon. But so basically, I don't do most of the electrical engineering inside of the synthesizers that I've built. I get a friend to get Echo Lightwave or another friend to, and I usually do the like main design for the external stuff and for the like overall design for the sound, but I don't do the chip, the PCB, the circuit board. And the main reason for that, honestly, is I have so much stuff on my plate. Like I have so many workbenches and like not infinite. I don't have enough space for another workbench with electrical engineering parts on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Like I already have a metalsmithing / woodworking / tinkering workshop, and then I have like the perfuming and cleaner and like tape production lab, and then I have the music studio, and then I have like the tape production and printer office.
Yeah.
Like how many workbenches? Like I don't have another workbench or like mental space for electrical engineering. So I like collaborating with people, and I focus more on the overall design and the metalworking for the like touch plates and stuff.
Yeah. Wow. There's a lot of it's very like very technical. Very like long process sometimes, or sometimes,
But collaborating is really like where it's at, because you can make something bigger than yourself, because you can combine specific skill sets of different people to make something bigger and cooler.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that makes more sense, and it's really better, communication. I haven't really gotten to that point, but we're we have like 5 more minutes. I'm gonna do one quick promotion, and I'll ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah, please.
So on Wednesday we'll be having Big Swish from I forgot the place, but somewhere in Ontario. We'll be on Wednesday at 12. And then the rest of the season, we'll be just announcing the rest. If anybody has seen it, just be prepared. Anyways, I wanted to ask about the cleaner tapes, and also about the gay death tapes and stuff like that, and how much like queer noise has definitely grown
Yeah.
in this period, and it's amazing to see it really grow. What is what are your what is basically the story behind it?
So Cleaner Tapes is really just like it's part of like, I don't know, my calling, I guess, to spread gay art and fight the culture war on the side of degeneracy, basically. But no, but for real, I think that making gay art is very important, and not only because it's cool to see representation, it's also important to replace all the books that have been burned and all the fucking media that's been destroyed by fascism throughout the ages. And it's always an important work to create what others think it is, like, to create about like love and freedom when others think that it's, I don't know, not something they want to think about. Like, you don't have to. That's the thing. You can think about whatever the fuck you want to think about. And if you see a queer person living their life happily and you get upset, you need to figure out why you're upset. It's not because they're living their life happily. It's because you're not doing something. Maybe it's because you're not living your life happily. And, like, in whatever way that means. I'm not saying everyone should be gay. I'm just saying that, like, follow, like, if you have hate in your heart when you see someone living authentically, it's just like, oh, how do you gotta figure out where that's coming from. But that wasn't really answering your question. I'm kind of rambling.
No, that's an understanding. No.
Cleaner Tapes came from the need to make gay art, and also because we thought it would be really funny to sell cleaners with tapes. And by funny, I mean, like, legitimizing. Like, it legitimizes
I like the idea. It's a really good idea.
Because some tape cleaner companies, what they do to legitimize their product is they put actual cleaning agents in it, which makes the actual user experience very uncomfortable and creates headaches. But we use pure isobutyl nitrite with just perfume oil added, and we legitimize our business. Instead of making it a cleaner product, we have dirty tapes that are for cleaning, of course. Right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google isobutyl nitrite and figure it out. I'm sad that the Wikipedia page on it doesn't say that it's a gay thing, but it's a gay thing. It turns you gay, just letting you know. Tape cleaners are gay and they turn you gay. And if, like, we get rid of that image, then all of a sudden, like, teens will start doing it, and then it'll be like, it'll get scheduled, and we don't want that. We don't want it to get scheduled. We want tape cleaner to not be scheduled. We want it to be gay so that it stays on the hush. It stays on the low, you know? But that's why we have the tapes. Yeah. That's why we have the tapes. But also, like, I wanted to make more gay art, and I wanted to make, like, noise and experimental music. And
you make jewelry too. And you also make jewelry, it says, you know, and that is actually, like, another cool thing that is very rare, you know.
Oh, well, let me finish about the tape cleaners first, about cleaner tapes. Because cleaner tapes is, so we have, like, you know, we got, actually today coming in, I have a lot of new blank tapes for the label. 4 new artists coming up soon. We got KFC Murder Chicks. We got Lucky Psionics. We got a split between Drown and Bile and Sirenomelia. And then we got Lilac Web. So that's like some breakcore, some like noise EDM, some like industrial splatterpunk, and some like gore noise.
That's
Um,
insane.
and that's all coming out in the next few months, and I'm getting hold of blank tapes in today. Then on March 16th, mark your fucking calendars, the day before St. Patty's Day in Pittsburgh at Club Pittsburgh, Misophonia, which is our new live event, basically noise show at the gay club. It's going to be a catalyzing event because there's going to be like noise people at the gay club being like, yeah, this set goes hard, fuck yeah, and then whoa, what's going on? What are those gay people doing in that booth in the corner? And then there's going to be gay people in their towels from All Gender Night coming down from the bathhouse going, whoa, what's going on? Whoa, what are those guys doing with that sheet metal and microphones? Whoa! It's going to be like a catalyzing event. And it's going to be really freaking cool. And 21 and up, you got to sign a waiver to get in. Access to the whole floor of the bathhouse and the club and the dance floor, and there's going to be like Embraza, Black Leather Jesus, Niku Dharma, Chainlink Mistress, and Jen Taiga. And then we have video installations from all our snappy named artists, Gay Death, Straight Panic, Faggot Front, Doll, Cone Gutter. Yeah, it's going to be a wild fucking night, and that's March 16th, Misophonia. Get your tickets on ticketleap.com/Misophonia. What else? Yeah, we got cum towels coming soon.
I'm
I'm banned. Oh my god. We got embroidered cum towels coming soon.
awesome.
We got jock straps coming soon. New cleaner flavors, new cleaner scents, new tapes. I don't know. It's fun. I love making gay art. I love producing gay art and promoting gay degeneracy. It's fucking poggers.
That's good.
And it's part of like the great work, I feel. Part of, I don't know, it's the other like half of like, so Yotzeret Sheydim is like making Jewish art for the same reason, like making Jewish art because it's important to make minority art and to make like stuff that has been burned by fascists in the past. So I'm making new Jewish art and I'm making new gay art. You know?
Awesome. Well, it's really something great to look forward to, and everybody out there who is really into cleaner tapes. Hope you big guys all been joining. Yeah, my last thing I wanted to ask about you, like you also do jewelry and stuff. Like it's basically a big like I don't know, you do a lot, and that's really it's great to be active. You've been probably doing it for a long time.
I've been doing jewelry for like 5 or 6 years at this point.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years at this point, and it's been really like I started off as like a way to kind of escape the working for someone else grind, because I really hate employers, and every employer sucks ass and treats you like shit no matter what. So I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna be my own boss. So I started teaching myself jewelry, and I started making that, and that was kind of how I broke out of like grinding for other people. And then now I don't make pendants anymore, but I make little things that go in special edition tapes. But like I still use the jewelry techniques, you know.
Yeah.
But I like using the jewelry techniques to make special edition tapes, to make instruments, to make stuff like that. But like I still make jewelry. I still take commissions. I still make rings. I'm doing like a silver ring trade with this other artist coming up soon. I still know how to do all that. I just don't do it as often, except for commission, because the art I do like making is more music objects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You definitely got a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, Yeah, well, thank you for coming on to the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for
Everybody
having
go
me.
check out Yotzeret Sheydim on Bandcamp.
Yeah,
Go
and
check out.
also I'm gonna be playing in Philly next Friday, and and that's weird. Why did Instagram need to tell me that anyone can see I'm watching too? That's weird. I don't know. Who knows? Instagram's weird. Anywho, next Friday in Philly, DM me for the address. Next Saturday in New York City, again, DM me for the address. It's all secret locations. We're cool like that. But yeah, Friday in Philly, Saturday in New York City next week, the 10th and the 11th. Sorry, go on.
All right. Anyways, yeah, thank you for coming on
Yeah,
the show. I hope you have a good day,
yeah. Thank you so much.
and see everybody next week.
Yeah, have a great one. Bye.
Bye.